Bonjour and welcome to my kitchen. So today I want to share my easiest ever recipe for apéritif. Why is it the easiest recipe? First of all, because as you're going to see, it takes only like 5 minutes to prepare. And second, because it's so simple, only 3 ingredients. Grated Parmesan cheese. So I actually took a real piece of Parmesan cheese and I grated it in my Thermomix here. Just pulverized it so it's like powder, some flour, and some butter, which I have previously placed in the oven so that it's a little bit melting. So first of all, remove the rings and all the schmuck, and then let's get ready. So why this recipe is super simple, it's because you actually need, the proportions are the same quantity of everything. So we have 150 grams here of butter, which I have already pre-melted. I will add in 150 grams of flour. So if you are not using grams and you are using pounds and another kind of measure, what you do is you just do 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. Okay, so my scale is ready now. I'm just adding in 150 grams of flour, and there we are. And then last is my 150 grams of grated Parmesan. What I will do now is just mix everything with my fingers in order to make a dough. And then I have also preheated my oven on 160 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to start making my dough right now and folding the butter inside the dough. So usually, because the Parmesan cheese is is quite greasy, it kind of all melts in together quite nicely, and I do not need to add any extra wet ingredient. Sometimes, and it kind of varies depending on the quantities that I'm making. If I'm making a bigger batch, what I will do is actually add an egg or something like that. But in the present case, like today, now it's really, my dough is really wet, which actually makes me think that I might even add a little bit of flour because it's really too wet. And it should be like a proper dough. It should make like one of these bowls. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour here. So you know what, I never measure. I have this thing like I rarely follow a recipe and I very rarely measure. I tend to do things like I feel them because I'm quite used to cooking. So now my butter was very melted. I think I've melted it a little bit too much, so I'm having difficulties putting the dough together, but it's coming. So what I will do, I'm going to make a nice roll out of my dough, and I will place it on in the fridge actually, or in the freezer if I want it to go faster. I'm going to place it to place my roll inside a plastic sheet. And then I will place it in the fridge for about an hour or so. So in my case, because my oven is on and I'm a bit in a rush for my dinner tonight, I will place it for like 15 minutes in the freezer. So it will save time. So here's the dough in the end, and now I will take out my plastic film and I will make a kind of a long sausage and I will roll it inside the plastic film. See you soon. So here's the next step. I have my cling and wrap film. So I take out long sheets. I will just place it on my countertop here. as such. And then, so this was so fast, you know, it's really literally takes only a few minutes to prepare. And now I will make this kind of a long sausage with my dough that I will freeze. I mean, I will keep in the freezer for a few minutes. So now it's a bit too wet, as I was saying, so it's a bit difficult to keep it all together, but this is the idea. Once I'm done, I just roll it inside the plastic, so I have this kind of like a very big stick, a very long stick, and I will keep this in the freezer and I will see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so my dough has been in the freezer for 15 minutes, which makes it much stiffer now. And why did we do this actually is because it's going to be so easy to slice. So we just need, all you need now is your baking tray with, I just have one of these silicone baking mats on the top of my tray that I always keep in the oven. And now I will simply go and cut my dough into slices, about, I would say, like a little bit less than 1 centimeter high. And I simply place my little pieces of dough onto the baking tray. I try to space them out a little bit. They will spread out, but not that much. So like on this sheet, for instance, I have approximately like 5 in each row. And the beauty about this recipe, why I love it so much, is because actually if there is too much dough, it keeps in the freezer forever. So if you have last minute guests or last minute party, it's really easy to take it out of the freezer and then simply prepare last minute your little aperitif biscuits. So I think this tray is enough. So I have like 1, 2, 3 plus 5 plus 20. I have like 23 on this sheet. And what I will do now is I will simply keep the balance in my fridge. So usually I count approximately like 5 pieces per guest. So we are 6 tonight, which means I have to prepare about 30 biscuits. I'm going to stick this into the oven for about, I would say, 10 minutes. But again, I do everything quite intuitively. So what happens is that I just smell it. I see until it reaches a kind of a golden shade on the top of the biscuits. And that's when I know that my biscuits are ready. So I'll see you in a while, in like 10 minutes. Just a little time for the piano practice to take out my biscuits and just give them the final touch. Okay, so it's been like, I didn't check the time, approximately 10 minutes. And so the biscuits are ready. Actually, you have to be careful because it goes really, really, really quickly. So this is what they look like. They're pretty soft right now. And so the final touch is simply to sprinkle some paprika on the top. So this is just how I will do it. And while they are still warm and a little bit soft. So this has gone, yeah, okay. So I just have to be really careful not to sprinkle too much paprika. But okay, there we go now. And I'll show you how it looks. I think it's a bit too bland if I do not add anything little bit spicy on top. So this is how it looks with the paprika on top. And now, before I put the second batch in the oven, I will just carefully take these little guys out of the oven. So the thing is, the Parmesan cheese makes them really crispy, but it makes them also very fragile. I don't know the word in English. In French, it's friable. So as you can see, it just it's a bit like sand. It has kind of this sandy texture that it will break really easily. Of course, once they are dry and once they've cooled down, they are a little bit more resistant. But you just have to be careful. So I will then cook the rest of my batch. But basically, before I do this, and which I don't need to show you on camera, what I really like about these little biscuits is, as you've seen, it literally took me maybe like, what, 5 minutes? Like 10 minutes, okay. I did something else while my biscuits were cooking, and I know what I put in the biscuits. It's just flour, butter, and Parmesan cheese. There is no junk, no preservatives, no nothing. No industrial stuff, and I think people are all really impressed when you serve them something like that. As I said, you can also freeze the excess of dough. It's fantastic, and I do not like to make too much food, to serve too much food during the aperitif, because obviously there's going to be a lot to eat once we are at the dinner table. So I think this is just perfect. It's a little bit salty, it's kind of light, you can really appreciate it, and once people know, your guests know that you've made this, they're kind of more careful with the way they eat it. And I think it's just perfect for, makes me hungry, it's just perfect for light, very light snack before dinner. So I will usually present this for the aperitif with a glass of champagne and then a few radishes or just like baby tomatoes, and that's it. I don't want people to come to the table where they have no more space for food. So that was it. I hope you've enjoyed, and don't forget to give it a like if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Bye.